Hello, and welcome to today's Creative Mindset podcast episode. My name is Isolde Trachtenberg, and I'm super happy you're here. I want to talk to you about something that's going to revolutionize your life. It's about the 4 amazing benefits you can get out of doing this simple thing every single day. Whether you are a lawyer, an event planner, an accountant, a doctor, a writer, a dancer, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is you do, you're probably feeling, at least a little, overwhelmed. There's too much to do. There are too few hours in the day. And how do you keep it all straight? And how do you keep your mind right? I mean, let's face it, we're all overstimulated. We have too much coming at us all the time. Too many things, too many thoughts, too much happening, too much social media, too many bells and whistles, too many lights, too many sounds. So how do you deal with it? How do you straighten up your head so that you are focusing on what you want to be focusing on? Well, I'm going to talk to you about this radical, revolutionary, and I hope you're seeing the air quotes, way of doing things that's going to make things so much better and so much easier. And it's this really simple thing. It's called journaling. I know you've probably heard it before tons of times. Sitting down and writing things down is something that's going to help you, but it really does, and it really will, I swear. And it's super simple. You don't have to have a huge process for this. All you need really is a notebook. Now, to be honest, I'm going to have something that I'm going to be putting out soon that's going to be even more helpful, but bare bones. Bare bones, all you need is a notebook. And here is what you do. It's called free writing. I know it sounds kind of weird, but that's what it is. It's sitting down with a blank piece of paper and doing nothing but writing down whatever comes into your head and through your hands for a single page, right? That's it. But here are the 4 amazing benefits, as I said, that you can get out of doing this very simple thing. First, as I said, we're overstimulated. We have too many thoughts and too many things. Well, a journal, a blank piece of paper and a pen where you can just spill your words out will help you straighten out your thoughts. It's weird how it happens, but when you put pen to paper, and it's not the same, by the way, if you do it on a computer or on a tablet or something. If you put pen to paper, something happens in the way your brain works that lets everything flow out of you, and it helps you straighten things out inside your own head. And you'll see benefits about this probably pretty quickly within a few days. But let's say you're starting and you go, I have no idea what to write. Well, there are a couple ways of dealing with that. First, you can ask yourself the question, if I were someone who knew what to say right now, what would I write? And see what the answer that pops up is. It's amazing how often that works. But also, I've started pages that just basically go blah, blah, freaking blah, here I am writing again. And just putting down blah, blah, freaking blah, here I am writing again, helped immeasurably to get me started. It just started the flow. And so once I started the flow, things sort of happened, and I put things down that I didn't even realize that were plaguing me. You know, inside your own head and your subconscious, stuff is going on 24/7. And consciously, we don't always have the ability to see it for what it is. Well, the whole point of free writing, of just sitting down with a piece of blank paper and writing whatever comes into your head, is that is a really nice sort of conduit for your subconscious to get its words out. And because it's not terribly language oriented, when you try to do nothing but just spill the words out on the page, that subconscious gets a chance to say what it needs to say. And again, this isn't a prescription of you must write down this and that. It's a free write. It's writing whatever comes into your head for that little bit of time and that single blank page. Super easy. And here's why it works. It works because there aren't any constraints. It works because it allows a part of you to free up without fear of any kind of judgment or am I going to do it wrong or right? There is no right or wrong. That's the beauty of it. You just do it. You just write it. And it gives you a real opportunity to just have your say. Even if you're in a situation in your life where you're doing a lot of what other people say you should do, or must do, or have to do, whether it's for your job or with your family, if there are a lot of shoulds in your life, your free write is your chance to do whatever it is you want to do, to write about whatever you want to write about. And it could be, as I said, just a conduit for your subconscious to get its words out, but it can also be something a little bit deeper and a little bit more analytical and a little bit more practical, because while it lets you straighten out your head, you'll also realize that you, as you write, will remember things that you need to do. So note that for yourself. If you write down something like, oh, yes, I need to pay the rent, that's great because it's a nice reminder and it gives your conscious mind a little ping, and let's make sure that I note that and put it in my calendar that I have to pay the rent on the 28th, right? So it lets you remember those things. And the beauty of this is that you can note it while it's happening. I have little symbols that I use for myself, a hashtag, a star, and an asterisk. So, for example, when I come up with that, oh, I need to do this thing, I put a little hashtag by that sentence so that when I go back and look at what I've written, I see all the hashtags and I go, oh, I need to do this thing, I need to do that thing, I need to pay the rent, I need to change the kitty litter, and I need to make sure I mail that package. Let's say those are the three things that came out of my free write. Great. So now I have them noted and I have them tagged, literally tagged, hashtagged as it were, and I'll be able to see them quickly and easily in that free write and then put them into my to-do list for the day, make it nice and easy. And then another slightly less practical, a little bit more creative thing that happens is you get new and innovative ideas. Something sparks when you're just writing and you get to write them down and note them. I mean, it's really amazing to me how these ideas can show up for things you want to do, things that you want to achieve, places you want to go, whatever those ideas are, whether or not they are creative in nature, they'll come out in the middle of writing in that journal. And your job then is to grab them and put a little asterisk by them to make sure that you have that notion, whether it's creative or not, again, captured. And then you can go back once you've written it and go, where are all those little asterisks? This is what I need. And now I know what I need to do. So that's another way that doing this free write will give you additional information to make your life what you want it to be, right? Not only will you straighten up your head by getting the jumble down on paper, and not only will you figure out things that you need to do, but you will also note the creativity that your subconscious sparks for you. And here's another benefit of doing this free write. You will also get what I call realizations. Realizations are not ideas that come out of the blue necessarily. They're more things that you probably needed to be thinking about, or things that you probably needed to accept and understand about yourself. They've been around. They've probably been lurking inside your subconscious, or you simply might not have wanted to open that particular box up. Well, doing that free write will give you the opportunity to take those out and look at them and see what they can teach you. Here's an example from my own life. Quite frankly, part of my journaling the previous couple of years has been, I need to move to New York. I need to move to New York. I need to move to New York. That just kept cropping up. And every time I visited New York, my journaling was all about how I felt at home here. And guess what? This past June, I moved to New York, right? So now I live in Brooklyn and love it. And here's the thing. Okay, look, it didn't just happen, right? It took a lot of doing and it took a lot of planning and figuring out everything and all of the steps it was going to take to make it happen. But here's the cool thing. Doing the journal every single day helped me iron out what the steps needed to be and how I needed to do what I needed to do to make it happen. It took sacrifices, it took planning, and it took writing things down and getting them straight in my head to make it work. And I probably wouldn't have had the oomph, the courage, or the wherewithal to make that move happen if I hadn't really started paying attention to what my journaling was telling me. It was telling me this was an important move. I needed to make it. And when I listened to what was happening, that realization really sort of cropped up and couldn't be denied anymore. So when you have those realizations in the middle of your free write, note them with a star. Moving to New York just kept cropping up, and I kept putting a star by it and putting a star by it and putting a star by it. And when I finally realized that this was something that I was being called to do, that this was something really important, when that realization kicked in and I accepted it, well, then I had to take action, right? So the call to action from these realizations becomes pretty strong. And in fact, the call to action from both the to-do list and the creative ideas, as well as the realizations, becomes pretty strong once you keep seeing it in black and white every single day. It becomes something you can't really deny anymore. And that means that the very truth of who you are and what you want to achieve in this world becomes front and center, and you can no longer deny it. In fact, you now have to take action on it. And if you ever want to just supercharge your creativity and your productivity, what you envision and what you can make, the thing to do is start writing about it. If you do, and when you do, you're going to be amazed at the things you accomplish because, frankly, again, once it's in black and white, there's no going back. And that, my friend, is exactly why I think you ought to be journaling every single day. Now, when to do it? Some say it's best right before bed. Other people say it's best first thing in the morning. I say it's a combo, okay? You're worth dedicating a few minutes first thing and last thing, and here's how you do it. First thing in the morning, do a 10-minute brain dump, and then get your words out on that piece of paper, note your ideas, your to-do items, and your realizations. Just get them out. And then, last thing, right before you hit the sack, do a check-in. See what you accomplished. Note any realizations. See how you feel. And, most importantly, set an intention for tomorrow so that you can make even more progress. And then repeat every single day. And that's how you get your stuff done. You get it done by envisioning it, realizing it, and then making it very practical and doing it step by step. Make it consistent, make it daily, and you're going to be, as I said, amazed at what you achieve. Now, I know that saying, go get a piece of paper and just get started might be a little weird, but you can try it that way. You can also wait until the end of this month, the end of September, and grab the Get Your Stuff Done journal. It's basically a project, super simple, project planning, journaling, little book that you're going to be able to use right there. Everything is sort of written out and you can just do it really quickly and easily. It points you in all the right directions. And I'm actually going to be putting that out very soon, probably the end of this month. And if you want to get down and deep into the whys and wherefores of doing this and how you can really use it to get these amazing results, I'm going to be having a class that's going to come out. It's going to be an online class, and that's going to be happening probably at the end of the month as well, sort of to coincide with the journal coming out, just because I want to help you get your stuff done. That's it. It's really important because we all have these dreams and these goals and these ideas, and so often we don't know the first thing about how to get started. Well, first thing, you have to have the realization that you want to do it. Then you end up with the ideas and the creative drive happening because you're writing about it, and then you can't really deny it anymore. It's there in front of you. And then you become really practical and you figure out all of the steps, how to make things happen, how to get your stuff done. So all of that's going to be coming at you at the end of September. But until then, try it with a piece of paper and see how it works for you. I think you're going to be amazed at what happens, even with just like a little tiny notebook you get at the drugstore. It's going to be amazing. The Get Your Stuff Done journal will help you do it even a little bit better, but at the very least, you ought to start. Don't you think? You're worth it. Your time is worth it. Your energy is worth it. Your ideas are worth it. And you can make magic in this world. You can do amazing things if you give yourself the opportunity. And it won't take long, maybe 10 minutes a day, and you're going to love the results. Alrighty, I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. And if you have questions about the Get Your Stuff Done journal or the process, I would love to hear about it. And if you already have ideas you're trying to make happen, you can use this journaling technique to do it as well and make amazing things happen. So I hope that you do. And again, if you have questions or you want to know more about how to make it happen, please get in touch. You can find me on Instagram, DM me at IsoldaT, or Twitter at IsoldaT. It's easy to find me. And I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, this is Isolde Trachtenberg, and I send you all my love. Thanks so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you being here. Please subscribe to the podcast if you're new, and please tell your friends about the community we're building here. Today's episode was produced by Isolde Trachtenberg and is copyright Isolde Trachtenberg 2019. Today's music was from Kevin MacLeod, Laser Groove, and Ave Marimba, brought to you by Creative Commons License 3.0. As always, please remember this is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Past performance does not guarantee future results, although we can always hope. Until next time, I send you all of my love.